and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week's episode of the program, we will be discussing about activities in the non-academic staff union of universities. But first, let's take the news. We will be right back.
The agitation for a new minimum wage of 30,000 naira seems to have died down as workers nationwide eagerly anticipate its implementation by the federal and state governments.
Solidarity!
When members of the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council met in Yenagoa, it was to consider the status of the implementation of decisions reached at previous meetings and facilitate consultations on labor matters and national interest.
We've discussed so many issues concerning workers' welfare and conditions of service, and I'm happy to say that labor and government are beginning to reason alike. They're beginning to see the same big picture, and of course this will translate to more industrial peace and harmony.
All over the world, what we have that has prevented industrial action in some country is the willingness of the government to abide by collective bargaining agreement, which is CBA, which is expected to be the outcome of this kind of a meeting.
The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Bayelsa governor emphasized the need to work for the actualization of industrial harmony.
Labour leaders mean well for our country, and that public servants are a force for good. We cannot really achieve anything without them. If they are well trained, well motivated, if they are happy, if they are respected, then that is good for all, and that's what we try to do here. Their training and welfare and their efficiency are things that all of us need to attend to.
Where there is mutual understanding and respect for workers and also their unions, there will be good understanding, and then industrial relation MELU will operate in a system of mutual benefit for all. So clearly speaking, this is one of the forums that have assisted in ensuring industrial peace and harmony. That is the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council.
The theme of the 2018 meeting is sustaining industrial harmony in the public sector, an imperative for achieving federal government's change agenda for national development.
The National Union of Local Government Employees says only 12 out of 36 states have passed the Local Government Autonomy Bill into law, leaving the rest under the control of their governors. An official of the union says most of the State House of Assembly share the view of local autonomy but do not have the political will to confront their governors on the matter. President of the union in Kwara State, Yusuf Salihu, believes local government joint accounts and state electoral bodies should be abolished because they are often manipulated by state executives.
We have been shouting, crying loud and clear that Section 7 of the Constitution gives the local government autonomy by the right hand. You still have Section 8 and some other sections that took that thing which the state government manipulated or have been manipulating to subvert local government, as if local government system in Nigeria is not even a department any longer, a unit under the state.
Abolition of local government joint account. It is our position that source account should be abolished so that allocation due to local government will be paid directly to them without interference from the state government. Constitutional recognition of Local Government Service Commission and Office of the Auditor General for Local Government in the Constitution to guarantee accountability and transparency in the management and discharge of local government responsibility.
The National Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, says it is ready to face any challenge that may crop up in the struggles for the actualization of the national minimum wage. Chairman of Zamfara State branch of the union, Comrade Sanusi Mohammed, said this at an event in Gusau, the state capital, to mark the 40th anniversary of the union. He said the union is committed to the improvement of the welfare of its workers across the state. Currently, Zamfara State local government workers receive 6,500 naira as minimum wage.
If Mr. President passed the minimum wage to the National Assembly, when it comes out, it has become a law, like a constitution. So only is the implementation. So we, the state level union leaders, will prepare for that, because we know the governors, they don't have any room for any negotiation less than 30,000, but they will come with some modalities before implementation. So we are ready for that, and we are ready to face all the challenges that they will talk to us.
If you have a living wage, a living salary, you can take care of your home. Even this 30,000 we are talking about, we'll just manage it.
Please and please, I am begging you in the name of Almighty Allah, before you leave, do something so that at least in some sector you have performed well, more especially in road networks, the whole across 14 local government. We must say well done to you, because you have lived at least something that we are going to remember with you in history. But in the sector of civil servants in Zamfara State, we are down.
The Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees is celebrating its 40th anniversary, and to celebrate the achievements of the 774 branches of the union, there will be a public lecture. Theme: Local Government Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow. Our struggle towards actualization of local government autonomy in Nigeria. Date: 3rd December 2018. Venue: the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, FCT Abuja. Time: 1 p.m. prompt. Chief host, Comrade Ibrahim Khalil, MNI, National President, Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees. Chairman of the occasion, His Excellency, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR. Special guest of honor, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Guest of honor, Bukola Saraki and Yakubu Dogara. Other dignitaries in attendance are Dr. Chris Ngige, Comrade Ayuba Waba, Comrade Adams Oshobale. Royal Fathers of the Day, Shehu of Borno, Dr. Abubakar Garbai, the Oba of Benin Kingdom, Oba Irijawa II, the Gongong of Jaws, Dr. D.A. Jacob, Gyang Buba. Noge will also give awards to 9 state governors who passed the Local Government Autonomy Bill. They are the Governor of Benue State, Governor of Kwara State, Governor of Niger State, Governor of Plateau State, Governor of Cross River, Governor of Ogun State, Governor of Sokoto State, Governor of Bayelsa State, and Governor of Bauchi State. Speakers of the 9 states will also be honored are Benue, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Cross River, Ogun, Sokoto, Bayelsa, and Bauchi State. The Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees 40th Anniversary, an autonomous local government extending the reach of democracy.
On the profile interview segment this week, I will be speaking with Comrade Peters Adeyemi, who is the General Secretary of NASU and also doubles up as the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress. He will be sharing with us the activities and the outcome of the 2018 NEC meeting of the union. Join me. Your union just finished its NEC meeting. Can you share with us the outcomes of this meeting?
Yeah, this is an annual meeting, and as at the time this meeting was rounding up, we have actually looked at a whole gamut of issues that affects the welfare and the well-being of national members across the length and breadth of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And these are very critical issues that, has to deal with the survival of the workers. One of the most important issues that was taken seriously at this meeting is the issue of non-payment of salaries as at when due by some state governors who have severally assessed bailout funds, assessed Paris refunds, and have clearly put them to wrong use, so to say, because we know that some of these interventions were supposed to be used for payment of salaries that have not been paid. And some of these governors and governments of some of these states are more concerned about settling contractors and putting money into things that are clearly not productive, and have left the issue of worker salaries clearly unattended to. And that's clearly unacceptable when you look at the fact that some of these guys are already going into primaries, campaigns, and all the rest of it, abandoning the governance, and they expect these guys, these unpaid workers, to come and cast votes for them. So we have this serious problem. It's still a nagging problem even as we speak. You are aware that it was only at the eve of the Osun election that the federal government rushed some money to Osun for the Osun state government to start clearing arrears of salaries. That clearly is unacceptable, because when you look at it, the fundamental in this is that if you wait until the eve of election before you release money to clear salaries, it means that when you get to office, you can afford not to pay salaries again until you go into another election. That's clearly unacceptable. It is not part of how things should be done. And this is what is going to happen in quite a number of the states that have taken the payment of salaries for granted. We have quite a number of states that have not paid salaries of workers for months. We can mention them. We have Ondo, we have Ekiti, we have Kogi, we have even Oyo is also suffering from payment of salaries. There is also a problem even in Delta, where salaries have not been paid as at when it's supposed to be paid. We have a few other areas. Some of the tertiary institutions have not been paid salaries in a number of states. And I would think that that is not right, because you also know that there are some states that have taken the issue of payment of salaries very religiously. We have Kano, pay salaries as at when they are supposed to pay. Even Borno, that have been ravaged by Boko Haram, have not failed in payment of salaries as at when they are supposed to pay. So what it means is that if there is the will, there must always be a way. People need to take the issue of payment of salaries as a priority. Gombe is paying salaries as at when it's supposed to pay. So there are quite a number of them. Enugu is paying as at when it's supposed to pay. We have quite a number of them, Akwa Ibom, but some have refused to do the needful. And we are saying that it's going to be extremely dangerous if we don't allow these governors to pay these salaries before they go for elections. So what our NEC has decided is, one, we must insist that those areas that these salaries have not been paid, that they are paid. We've worked out some strategies which we are not ready to release now, so that they don't go and counter us. But one strategy which we have also agreed to, which we can say here clearly, is that we have asked our members to keep their PVC and use those PVC in those states where those governors have refused to pay salary, to vote them out and their parties. We cannot afford to continue to keep these guys in office. That's number one. We advise our members nationwide not to sell their PVC. Sell it for a token, because that will be counterproductive. You go and use that PVC, they give you small money, then you suffer for the next 4 years. We don't think that is right. That's the position of national. This NEC meeting has also talked on the issue, some of the issues that have developed in the last couple of years. That is the rascality of some governors proscribing unions. Proscription of unions is not within the right of a governor. because each issue of trade union is on the exclusive legislative list. It's not on the concurrent list. So it is beyond their power to proscribe union, like it was done in Kogi. Kogi State Governor proscribed union activities in the Kogi State funded tertiary institution, Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, Kogi State University, Anyigba, and this is unheard of. Then you find this NEC also talked about the situation in Kaduna, where the governor has refused unions from operating in the last 2 years. Refused to even release our check-off dues and stop the deduction of check-off dues in a manner to kill unions. We don't think that is right in a democratic government, whereas we have passed through military regimes that have not even contemplated some of these anti-people's actions.
Talking about the end allowance, the federal government released about approved 8 billion naira for the end allowance for the universities. Can you tell us if the federal government has disbursed this money to workers in the universities?
No, the money actually is supposed to defray part of what the federal government is owing the non-teaching staff in the universities as end allowances. Just the university, non-teaching staff covered by NASU, SANU, and NAT, 8 billion. The money is yet to be disbursed because the modalities for disbursement is being worked out. That is the issue on the 8 billion. But for polytechnics and colleges of education, the issue of payment of peculiarity allowance is still unresolved. And even for the end allowances, what we have said is that government should do everything possible to ensure that the cost implication for paying these end allowances on a month-to-month basis is factored into the year 2019 budget, so that you don't continue to accumulate arrears and then unions will have to go on strike severally before you pay, you release some money. It will be much more tidy if you put money in, if you put provision in the 2019 budget, whereby it's possible for every university to, on a month-to-month basis, pay the workers, whether you are ASU member, NASU member, SANU member, or NAT member. And that will take off the crisis of arrears. And that is one of the things that we have discussed here, for which we have also passed a resolution. And for the polytechnics peculiarity allowance, we have asked also that government should factor peculiarity allowance payable to workers in polytechnics and colleges of education into the year 2019 budget, so that it will be easy for government to pay as at when they are supposed to pay. Those are issues, critical issues that we have been discussing.
Talking about the education sector, what's your union's position when it comes to funding of the sector? Would you say the government is paying attention in terms of funding?
The truth of the matter is, for us, we think that government had politicized even establishment of universities. And you see, the ones you have, you are not able to fund adequately to a reasonable level. You go on establishing more. It doesn't make sense. Absolutely doesn't make sense. And then what that means is that you reduce, because some of these universities that you are just establishing are lacking in infrastructure and whatever. And that lowers automatically the quality of education that you are going to be selling to the people. So you are making available to the people. So what we have said is that for government to develop the capacity and the will to sufficiently fund existing universities, and refuse to politicize establishment of university. There's no reason for you to put universities in all villages and hamlets of this country. Fund this. In fact, you can, if you adequately fund them, you can also expand them to be able to take more students. They can be bigger than what they are now. For them, if the excuse is that the number of universities we have now cannot admit sufficient number of students, they can be so expanded that it will be cheaper to expand the existing university than creating new ones that will be completely lacking in infrastructure and facilities, and will be more or less like a glorified secondary school. Some of these universities today are not better than glorified secondary school. So funding has declined, and that is what NEC has observed. Funding level has declined in the last couple of years in a manner that is becoming very unacceptable. In 2018, the thing has come to a ridiculous level of about 7%. Whereas in 2014 or thereabout, it was about 13%. So from that 2013 or 2014, the thing has been coming down. And what we said that is unfair. The UNESCO recommendation of 36% of the annual budget of a country, or 16% of the GDP, is nobody is working near it here. Even if there are other competing situations that will not make this government country to be able to devote 36% as of our national budget to education, we should work near it. We should work near that. You see, if you are in the region of 18, 19, 20, of course, it will be seen that you are making effort. Anything less than 20 clearly is unreasonable. And it is because government is not adequately funding the university. That is why they talk about intervention funds. On an annual basis, they want to give intervention fund. So if you fund the place adequately, you won't need intervention fund. If you do intervention funds, it's an admittance that you are not funding the place adequately. So once in a while, you come from anywhere and just find some 100 billion or 200 billion and put into the system. Whereas that should have been in part of the budgetary allocation.
There's this trend of having so many private universities coming up. What's your union's position as regards the emergence of so many private universities? And can you tell us if these private universities allow their workers to be unionized?
No, our position, NEC also consider that. Our position clearly is that it is exploitative. It takes away education from the reach of the common person. The children of the commoners cannot access education in the private university. And that's why NEC questioned the rationale. Why are you granting so much licenses to private individuals and organizations to establish university when you know that the principle behind the establishment of private university is for profit making? And have we been able to put in place appropriate regulatory machinery that will regulate the quality of the education that these private universities are giving, are dishing out? Two, have we been able to put in place appropriate regulatory machinery that will regulate the fee that these private universities are charging Nigerians, or are they allowed to just go haywire? Have we put in place appropriate regulatory machinery that moderate the quality of the education, the quality of staff recruitment, the type of pay they give to staff? You are aware also that private universities have become so rascally motivated to the point that they include in their letters of appointment that anybody employed in their university cannot be a member of a trade union. That completely contradicts the constitutional provision which provides that every citizen of our country will have freedom of association. He will be free to associate, will belong to a union of his choice. It's in the constitution. But these private university providers are behaving as if they are laws to themselves. They are above the law of the country. And with the question the NEC is asking is that what role is the Federal Ministry of Employment and Productivity, what labor and productivity, what role are they playing in this abuse of the constitution of our country by private universities? What role is the Federal Ministry of Education playing as far as the regulatory role that they are supposed to play in terms of moderation of the fee charged by this university? It's on record that some of these universities charge millions, which is clearly beyond what an ordinary person can afford. So clearly for us, these numerous private universities is clearly unacceptable to us, and we think government has to do something about it.
Your union fully participated in the last JOESU strike. Can you share with us if the no work, no pay, which the Minister of Health implemented the other time, can you tell us if these workers have been paid their salaries during the month which they participated in this exercise?
That is why we condemn in totality the rascality of the Minister of Health. The man appeared to enjoy, to be swimming in the ocean of wanting to kill trade union. And it's very unfortunate. This is a guy who was vice chancellor for 2 tenures in University of Ibadan. 2 tenures vice chancellor. And we went on strike severally in that university. Why did he not apply no work, no pay? Does the father is now a minister, does it just give him license to begin to do whatever he likes? No, it's crazy. What our union says is that that application of no work, no pay is clearly unacceptable, it's outrageous, it's something that even the minister cannot defend. He was in UI for 8 years as vice chancellor. He never applied no work, no pay on any side of ASU, NASU, SANU, and NAD. What has suddenly changed? What has suddenly changed? Is it that the workers in the health sector don't have a right to protest and demand for what is due to them? It's clearly an abuse of power. But let him be reminded that I will leave as Minister of Health one day. Ministerial position will end. Let everybody who occupy offices of government knows that one day this thing will end. And they'll come back to us. It's clearly unfair. The way the strike of JOESU has been handled is unacceptable, it's unfair. Government has shown that they can't apply double standard in the manner they resolve industrial crisis. There is a double standard clearly in this matter. Has the NMA not gone on strike? Has the Medical Association members not gone on strike? Were they made to go through no work, no pay? What's different about them? And why do you need to treat JOESU members the way you are treating them now? Now you can see it's a double jeopardy. The reason for which the workers went on strike have not been attended to. Then you are denying them their pay. I think it's quite unacceptable. Some of these guys should, if they believe in God, they should go to the corner of their room and pray for forgiveness.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.